If this came out in Pride Month, it's just a coincidence, don't really overthink it. And as always, I am not spreading any hate or bullying towards LGBTQ community. I'm simply saying an exposition why it's wrong. And also, I just turned 19 years old last week, so I'm kinda okay when it comes to talking about these types of things. Today, for today's video, I'm gonna be talking about why homosexuality is biologically wrong in a more scientific version. Now, as you can see in my previous video, I talk about why homosexuality is wrong, religious version. Now today I'm going to be talking about in a more scientific way. Now one thing you must remember is that I just woke up. That's why I look like this. And also, just a quick add up. I want to quickly add up that there are three sectors for this video. The first one is obviously I'm only gonna referring this to, you know, male and female. So yes, no trans woman or trans man, because in my previous video I already talked about why it's wrong to transition. Now anyway, so as you can see, okay, the lighting is so bad. I apologize. Second sector, I am not gonna be referring this to, oh, what about animals who can change their opposite sex? Or, for example, a clownfish. They can, change into the opposite sex. But that doesn't mean that it can be applied to this argument, because this is only referring to people or creatures who do not have that ability. Because those types of animals have crazy superpowers. Now, third sector is, take a look at the reproductive organ of a man. I'm pretty sure I have edits on this, right? Take a look at a reproductive organ of a man. It's literally made, or if you prefer the term evolved, I'll use that. It's literally evolved to have intercourse to a vagina. And if you take a look at a reproductive organ of a woman, it's also made / evolved to let the penis go inside and also give birth. It's obvious. It's literally visually self-explanatory obvious. Now also, if you take a look at a reproductive organ, it's all designed. It has evolved to let the penis and the vagina intertwined to one another. And now what do I say about this? Now that's where heterosexuality makes sense. Like, bro, if you are attracted to your opposite sex, that makes sense. No wonder why majority of humanity are straight people. It's simply because the, yet again though, attraction and sexuality can be changed over time. That's one thing that I'm gonna be talking about next. Now that's where heterosexuality makes sense. It's because our own bodies themselves are evolved to have intercourse to one another. But obviously, nowadays, people are a bunch of horn dogs. Hanky-panky nowadays is not about reproduction. Now, in humanity's time, it has evolved to pleasure as well. So yes, what do I say about this? What do I say about this? That the hanky-panky is now for pleasure as well and not just solely for reproduction. Well, one thing you must understand, it doesn't debunk anything. It's simply just people just being more, you know, lustful, harder than last time. Now, what do I say about the reproduction stuffs? Well, one thing you must understand is that the reproductive is a natural occurrence. Obviously, without that, we will not exist. It's the most basic thing as possible. And also, one thing you must understand is that the overall body is, yes, it's literally made to be straight. Like, I don't know how to explain this. I'm running out of vocabularies. But, oh yes. Now, the third sector, the last one that I want to add up, is that, yes, I do admit you can be romantically in love to your opposite sex. But I have one thing to say about this, is that attraction based on Klein's Klein's statement, sexuality is fluid, meaning it can change over time. And just like what I explained in my why in my previous video titled this video, sexuality can easily be, change. How, you may ask? Well, influences and experiences, obviously, like also genetic factors, etc., and so on. Now, what does this conclude to this argument? Meaning that heterosexuality is the default attraction or sexuality. I know it's very bold and direct claim, but hear me out. Because remember, every damn babies are born straight. Obviously, we don't have definitive evidence for this. It's because they cannot speak and even walk. But you gotta understand, this whole lineage, this whole genetics can be activated as they grow up. And also, you must understand that the sexuality can be easily influenced, especially in teenage years. Like, for example, just like in my previous video, this video, I talked about why why anime fan services are influencing teenage girls to become a lesbian, or at least bisexual. It's simply because since anime is primarily getting discovered at teenage years, obviously, since teenagers are still developing, it's basically they are fragile when it comes to influences and experiences that can greatly impact and alter their overall life. Now, I can apply that to this. For example, I have a plenty of gay classmates over the years. And why are they gay, you may ask? Exactly, I asked them all throughout my school life. All of them answered very similar explanations. And that's where they said, I quote, he's gay, he said he's gay simply because he is the only male member in his family. Yes, no joke. Obviously, I'm not saying that all of their fathers or brothers are dead, but I'm just saying that their female members in the household is much more than male. Might be because of personal experiences, might be some are dead or some are working overseas. But doesn't that make sense? That it basically shouts that if in an environment a majority of the opposite sex is much more dominant, it can easily be influenced by that one individual. But obviously, I'm not saying that every family that has one male member is gay. Obviously, there are plenty of men who grew up in female majority household that are still perfectly straight. It doesn't mean that I'm already re- 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 okay, I'm running out of vocabularies. I actually confuse how to explain some other stuffs. Anyway, it actually doesn't mean that all of them are the same. It's simply because the majority of the female members are influencing the one male individual. And the same goes to females. For example, I have this one tomboy classmate. She obviously said that she only lives with her brother and father. See, it literally makes sense. Such a powerful influence can influence an individual who is very innocent when it comes to these stuffs. And also, just like what I said, homosexuality can be developed over time. It's not like you are automatically born to be a homosexual. It's simply an influence. It can be developed and changed over time. For example, you just happen to be like, I heard a lot of experiences saying they either became homosexual because of tragic and very impacting tragedies in life. Like, here's one thing that is very interesting. I repeat, I am saying this is gonna be interesting because does anyone still watch Big Brother? Yes, that old TV series where a group of strangers or celebrities go in a home where a bunch of other strangers also sleep and they all participate in challenges and various challenges. Most of them are for TV stuffs, those cliche stuffs. Now, here's one thing that I keep on observing, a reoccurring theme. For example, in my country, the Big Brother, most of the housemates, a lot of them became homosexual because of months of isolated from the outside world, of being together and happening to be having strange like coincidence of meeting each other. Like a lot of them became homosexual because of obviously experiencing the challenges, the harsh challenges together, and eventually falling in love because they develop an attraction to each other, even though they used to be straight, perfectly straight people. But since they are probably very fragile as well, they happen to be still very fragile. They also got easily influenced, and just overall simply influence to one another. See, doesn't that make sense? That straightness or heterosexuality can be changed over time by simply various things: genetic, influence, environment, and past experiences. Now, one thing that you must understand is that this can easily be disproved because I know a lot of you, some quick, witty people can easily counter my claim in the comments down below. Now, yes, let's wrap this up. In conclusion, a male to male hanky panky is basically just a penis being forcefully put inside a hole where the poo poo comes out. And a female to female hanky panky is basically just two holes being forcefully pressed up against each other and rubbed against each other. Now, one thing you must understand is that I am 19 years old. I just turned 19 last month. So I'm kinda okay to talk about these things. Now, one thing I almost forgot is that most of these homosexual couples, every time they do the hanky panky, they either use countless of devices, and a bunch of other stuffs just for their hanky panky to be more pleasurable and much more suitable for them. See, doesn't that ring a bell on your head? It literally shouts that homosexuality is wrong. It's simply because of, our bodies being biologically evolved to have intercourse to our opposite sexes. And also, just because homosexuality also occurs in the animal kingdom. For example, I just saw my dog last week humping his fellow male dog last week. Just because it also happens in the animal kingdom, it doesn't mean it's already natural or acceptable. Remember, these are a part of their unnatural behaviors. Go ahead, take a quick Google and search up most popular and much more complex unnatural behaviors in the animal kingdom. Obviously, homosexuality will not appear because a lot of these websites have been infiltrated by the LGBTQ propaganda and plenty of other stuffs.